I'm Senator Sarah Eckhart, and I represent Senate District 14. And this beautiful block of concrete behind me is the E.O. Thompson State Parking Garage. It's named after the mayor of Amarillo from 1929 to 1932, who was later a Texas Railroad commissioner. Could this property be used better? Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about dirt. In Texas, we have a lot of it, and some of it is exquisitely beautiful and needs to be preserved, from the mountains of West Texas to the piney woods of East Texas. And a lot of it is put to very productive use for our schools, our businesses, and our homes. But some of our dirt, well, it's not so pretty, and it's not being put to very good use. And I got a bill for that. In fact, I got a couple of them. We need housing, and it's not just an Austin thing. Statewide, we need 300,000 additional units of housing today. The shortage in housing statewide is driving up costs in housing for everybody. Cities, counties, and even the federal government have made some deep investments at putting more housing of all kinds back into the market. But the state's direct investment has been pretty small. This session, state leaders are throwing around a lot of ideas for affordable housing, but too many of them are punitive on the cities who've really been pulling their weight. And not enough of them really put state dollars or state dirt into the mix. So I say, put up or shut up in land and in money so that we can drive down the cost of housing for everybody. In dollars, Texas provides just $25 million annually to the state housing tax credit program established in the 88th legislative session. But this amount is far behind much smaller states like Oklahoma at $40 million, Alabama at $50 million, Ohio at $100 million. So the state housing tax credit program augments the much larger federal low-income housing tax credit program that incentivizes affordable housing all across the state. To put the state's annual $25 million contribution into context, this affordable housing project in Austin can cost as much as $25 million for just one project. I have bills to get more tax credit projects into high opportunity areas and to prioritize public education employees in those tax credited affordable housing projects. But dirt is the big input. Oftentimes, it's the land that is the most expensive input in an affordable housing project. So the state could have a much bigger impact if it put up its own dirt for these projects. And the state has a lot of lazy dirt. So I have a bill to do just that. Senate Bill 1510 would require that all state-owned and underutilized properties be assessed for the potential use as affordable housing. The state owns 13 million acres, and some of that is leased out to various state agencies right here in Travis County. So every 4 years, agencies review the properties that they have, and they make recommendations to the General Land Office on if that property is underutilized. And if it is underutilized, whether it should be sold, leased, or repurposed or redeveloped. So let's check out some of those properties right here in Travis County.
This property is one of about 193 state-owned properties inside my district that are being looked at for sale, lease, or repurposing. How could we repurpose parking garages like this? Well, we could use them for affordable housing for veterans, for instance. We have 4,000 unhoused veterans across the state of Texas, making us the third largest population of unhoused veterans in the United States. So, state of Texas, let's put up our property and become a leader in making sure every veteran who serves our country has a roof over their head. This is the Hobby Building, another state-owned property. It's named for the beloved Lieutenant Governor Bill Hobby, but as you can see, it's been allowed to fall into pretty significant disrepair and it's now vacant. It's been vacant for about 3 years now. If this property were held by a private property owner, it would never be allowed to fall into this kind of visible disrepair, much less be left vacant for this long. This is lazy dirt.
So I'm going to get all wonky with numbers and percentages and actual dollar figures. 34% of Texas homeowners and half of renters are housing cost burdened, meaning they spend more than 30% of their income for housing. By building a lot more affordable and deeply affordable housing, we can free up a lot more market rate housing supply, driving down costs for everyone. So what do we mean by affordable housing? Affordable housing is commonly understood as about 80% of MFI, but what the heck is MFI? It's median family income, which is determined based on area. For instance, in Austin, the median family income for a family of 4 is $126,000. So affordable housing in Austin at 80% of median family income means housing that's available to a family of 4 making around $98,000, or for an individual making around $68,000. So think teachers, mechanics, postal workers. Now, when we're talking about deeply affordable housing, we're talking about 60% of median family income or below. So 60% median family income in Austin for a family of 4 is about $75,000. And for an individual, it's about $53,000. So we're talking students, musicians, bartenders. When you get to the 30% MFI level, that's a family of 4 making it work on $38,000 a year. Just think about that. How do you make it work for a family of 4 at $38,000 a year? At 30% MFI, an individual is at $26,000 or less per year. How do you afford rent at $26,000 or less a year in Austin, Texas? We're talking about the working poor, the disabled, and the people who are struggling the most with housing. So let's get after it, Texas. Let's take a look at our lazy dirt and let's turn it into the most productive use for affordable housing and deeply affordable housing so that we can reduce the cost of housing for every Texan. We can make Texas home by making Texas homes affordable again.